Welcome again. Alright, this will probably be the last one of the last few run-throughs we do with this. Just checking the HD quality, which I said incorrectly last time as a certain number. It is actually 1280 by 720. Now we're going to check to see how this actually feeds then out on some other things such as an iPod Touch or an iPod or whatever, a PSP. But for now, we're just going to go through here and do a quick drafting of just something stupid, basically, using some of the tools that they have. And we'll just do a set of diamonds going inside of themselves. You'll see as I draft it as it comes along. I'm doing this mostly so you can see some of the tools that we can use to not only draft one shape, but then manipulate it as we go through. Those of you who have kids studying in the Stevens Point schools or probably even in the Rapid schools will know of something called tessellations, repeating shapes that are flipped and rotated. Kind of a neat thing within math. But here we're just going to use it as a demonstration of how to take one basic shape and then manipulate it and play around with it as opposed to drafting something per se. So first thing we're going to do here is we're going to get rid of the ribbon bar. Not get rid of it completely, but hit a little button right here which will kind of bleed it up into itself, I think. See how that kind of makes it smaller, larger, smaller, larger. And we're going to kind of bury it there, so we're not going to use it a whole bunch. As a rule, even though we're going to be using the ribbon a lot, we're going to tend to keep the draw toolbar on the left and the modify toolbar on the right here. We'll keep those locked. And we'll also tend to keep some other toolbars up here. This toolbar here is the layer toolbar. Again, we're going to be pushing the ribbon a lot, especially because it helps you adjust to other software platforms that Autodesk has. But if we want to bring up a set of toolbars, what we do is we right-click on any toolbar we see, and we have a list here of all the other toolbars. So what came up here then is the modify toolbar. And I can kind of drag that around, and we'll see that we can move those toolbars around a lot. You notice I'm still on this kind of white space. This is called paper space. Along the bottom here we have a set of toggles and different switches, and we're going to click to the model space here. We now have an infinite space, which we don't really have any definition to. One of the first things you're going to learn to do, as you would in any kind of place where you're using a graphic interface and trying to use your eye, you're going to draw a box that is larger than the thing that you are going to be drafting. So in this case, I'm going to draw a box that's 1,000 by 800 feet. And I'm just going to click that box here. Click it here once, and now you see it's letting me put some other data in there, and I'm just going to put at 1,000, 800, and we'll delve into how that works. Double clicking on the middle mouse usually takes you all the way out. If not, escape, 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 Z space, E space. That's kind of an important one. What you now have done is you've given your eye perspective and scale. This is 1,000, this is 800 feet. And we'll talk about the size to make that box and the rest later. Once you are really good at what you're doing, you might not want to have that box out there, but in reality, it's a good rule of drafting to have something to give you scale. This not only gives you scale, it also gives you visually something to look at in terms of what is 0 and what is 90 degrees, or what is north and what is east. All right, we're now just going to draw an arbitrary box. This time we're going to start concentrating on that right mouse button. We will be doing a lot of things by base entities, lines, arcs, but for now we're still going to learn to draw that rectangle, which actually makes a polyline. I'm going to click on it here, and I'm going to make this thing square by saying I'm hitting an at button at, I don't know, 50, 50. And that made a box that was 50. I'm wheeling in and out with my mouse, 50 by 50 feet. Now, what I want to concentrate on now is manipulating objects using the kind of grip snaps or just what's available when you click on something. So, for instance, we'll start with the grip snaps. We're going to very much pay attention to the fact that if we click on something, you're going to see a set of grips come up. Those are those blue or green or whatever they come up. Markers indicate that those are things that you can kind of pull or drag or do something with, and it's very much akin to what you'll see in other programs. If we don't keep our mouse over the top of those things and right click out here on the side, we have a set. I'll do this again so you can see better. I'm going to right click out here and you'll see that set of things we can do. Basically, we have selected what we want to do it on, and these are things we can do. That's going to become very important. We can move it, we can scale it, we can rotate it. These are called modify commands, and they generally are invoked once you have highlighted something. Essentially, they are the set of commands that are in the modified toolbar. If, however, you left click on one of those grips, it grabs that grip point as some kind of base point, and then it gives you a set of commands that you have a choice of to toggle through using the space bar. So if you notice down here in the command window, it says stretch. I hit the space bar, it says move. I hit the space bar, it says rotate. I hit the space bar, it says scale. I hit the space bar and it says mirror. Hit the space bar again, it says stretch. So I'm going to go all the way through here to mirror. And if you think about mirror as this concept of that you see in tessellations or whatever else, of repeating by reflection. And you'll see later there's some basic math to this and really fun, cool stuff. But in this point, when you look at the mirror command usually works this way. You need to know what you want to copy and flip. You need to then give it a line about which to flip. And in this case, we're going to flip about a line, one point of which is the point we started on. Otherwise, it would be kind of foolish to not to do it this way. So you've grabbed with a left select on an entity. You then have left clicked, and you have gotten basically a set of commands that you've gone through. You're now going to give it a second point. I'm hitting the F8 here, and if what you notice here is I am actually going ahead and I am giving it a second point. And you'll notice here it has actually done the tessellation and not left behind what you want. So that's one of the not good things about doing the mirror command this way. But I'm going to go ahead and undo and see if we'll do it once again this way, and then I'll show you how that might not be what you want to do if you want to leave something behind. I left click. Now I left click on top of one of those things. I see stretch, spacebar move, spacebar rotate, spacebar scale, spacebar mirror. And you notice here you can do a copy. This is the point where you would go ahead and say C for copy, and I'm going to hit an F8 here. At this point it's going to go ahead and copy, and I can continue doing that however I wish to do it. If you notice here, it's letting me do a number of those things, so I'm kind of tessellating around. Alright, so that is in effect how we're going to do a lot of commands that are modify commands. Let's try that once again. I'm now going to this time use a selection set which is a window or a cross. You remember going one way does one thing, going the other way does the other. I'm going to go across here. It's grabbed everything. Now I can pick my rotation point is there. I'm left clicking, spacebar, 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 spacebar. I'm down to mirror. I can say C for copy. You see your choices are lined out there, or your choices would be summoned by using the down arrow. And now I use my second point here. Spacebar, and I've gone ahead and done another mirror command. So that is using the basics of using grips. We do want to really get aware of doing them with selecting and then using our command no matter what we're doing, though you will see there are times when that can't be done. Thanks for listening. This will be the last one for now, I think, that we put out in 09. It looks very similar in 10, so don't get your underwear in a bunch. Thanks for listening. Bye.